simplified Tai Chi. We also teach that to people that have finished our Wu style Tai Chi, because 24 movement simplified Tai Chi form, the Yang style, is actually a universal form, and I think anybody that's doing Tai Chi should have a little experience with that, because if you travel the globe, you can actually join in some of the groups in the parks. As well as that, we teach the modern mainly for the competition forms. So we do modern Wu style Tai Chi, we do the 42 movement Tai Chi, Sun style Tai Chi, and Wu Hao Tai Chi. We actually do all the competition forms, mainly, as I said, for competition and for interest. All the principles in Tai Chi basically follow the same guidelines, just that the stylistic differences, the frame and structure of the form appears to be slightly different. But they are stylistic differences. And we also actually do the 56 Chen style competition form. So anyways, with that said, we're going to go through a couple of warm-ups. So if you're following, you can do these warm-ups with us. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and stop. Okay, to the side. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and stop. Okay, hands up. Reach down, stretch. 1, 2, 3. To your right, 2, 3. To your left, 2, 3. Center, inhale, exhale. Hands up. Reach down. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Center, inhale, exhale. Okay, one more time. Hands up. Reach down. 1, 2, 3. To your right, 2, 3. To your left, 2, 3. Center, inhale, exhale. Okay, hands on your waist. Circular movements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Center cross. Hold your knees. Circular movements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Center, hands in your waist. Neck turning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Center, back and forth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, center, tilt to the side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, and stop. Center, rotating. 1, 2, 3. Reverse. 1, 2, 3. Okay, center, hands up, deep breathing. Inhale, exhale. Palms up, pull in toward the face. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Okay, let's spread the feet. Turn the shoulders a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, and stop. Okay, let's stretch it out a little bit. Switch. 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 Let's go to center. Okay, let's bend down. 2, 3, switch. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and stop. Okay, shake it out. One of the reasons why we do the stretching, especially in the 24, because they do have a downward posture. We don't have that posture in the Tai Chi paradigm because of the extreme stretch. So if you're not flexible or your legs are not strong enough, it's not a good idea to go in that downward posture because you can possibly strain your knees or maybe injure your back or hip. Okay, so let's bring our hands together, find that center line. Okay, so I'm going to do it from the back because I think that might help. Okay, I'm going to turn like this, okay? Push. So I like to work with the hand movements first so you get an idea. This is called brush, knee, and push without the legs, okay? Okay, let's hold that position. Turn the palm up on one side. Bring this hand back, fold the elbow, and push forward. This is typically in repulse the monkey. So it's good to define the direction of your movement and find the lines that you have to. So I like to turn the waist to the back as if you're doing even like a breaststroke in swimming. You have to get your back involved and turn to create the lines. Now, most of the modern style Tai Chi, it's not totally about application, it's more about aesthetics. So in doing the modern forms, how it looks is very important. I find traditional arts, how the look is important too, because without the right look, it's probably uncoordinated, it's probably misaligned, and the structure and integrity of the movement is probably compromised. So you really have to define where your hands are going. So the only way is through repetition. Okay? So let's turn this foot like this, bring this foot to here. This is hold the ball. Okay? And then when we step out, this is your archery stance, and you lean forward like this. Okay, this is, okay, part the horse's mane. Now when we sit back and we turn the foot out and step up, and the Yang style Tai Chi a little bit wider, part the horse's mane. Twist step, step up, part the horse's mane. Okay? So essentially, you're in the rounded hand position without the legs, you end up like this. You turn your waist, you end up like this. So a lot of times, people have a little trouble knowing which hand goes where. So when we're on this side, and you step out with your right leg, you have the right side part the horse's mane. Twist step, that's turning your foot out, and you lift like that. That's part the horse's mane. Okay, we're going to do a half step like this. Pass through center, and we go like this. This is stork flaps wings. Okay, so those are two postures in the beginning. And then if we stayed in the stance and we dropped our hands to here, this is called scrum the lute. Okay? So you see the stance work and the leg work have a specific position. Let's review it again. Part the horse's mane, left side, part the horse's mane, right side. We pause for a second so you can see the relationship. The forward hem is rounded, front leg, this arm is in front, twist step, and water. Part the horse's mane. Okay? This half step really happens quite a bit to get into different positions. This is stork flaps wings. Okay? Now we were in, say, another position, say brush knee, and we did the half step, you'd bring you to strum the lute. Okay? So strum the lute is this on guard position. If you're a ready position, you're in the empty stance like this, which is this position. The archery stance is forward like this. So archery stance is essentially a leaning stance. If you look from a side view, this is an archery stance. This is a empty stance. Empty stance can be this or it can be this. Okay. So empty only means that there's no weight on the front leg. Most of the weight is on the back leg. So that's an important principle in Tai Chi, period. Because in Tai Chi, it's all about the footwork and the shifting of the weight. So in the 24 movement, even though it only has 24 motions, it's essential that we still do it correctly, because the footwork is where we're going to improve our balance, improve our stability, improve the idea of how we can walk and move. So people that are practicing it for improving any of those ideas of strengthening or improving balance, maybe locomotion, how do you walk, how do you maintain agility, it has to do with that. Now, if we're practicing it for fall prevention, especially some of the elderly people, they say, what can I do to help myself to improve, or help prevent falling? It's really the knees. Most people, as you age, the knees become very stiff, and the tendency is to be kind of stiff, and when you walk, you're really kind of apprehensive about moving forward. So you have to learn to relax your knees. So where do you learn? Well, how does that happen? The first movement in Tai Chi is the sink. And sinking is releasing and relaxing and letting go of the knee. So the knee folds. If you just think of bending your knees, that's actually a physical action. Let gravity work on your body. Take the tension out of the knee and let yourself sit. That much more relaxed. Your hips are relaxed and your ankles are relaxed. So if you do this and your knees are used to releasing, then in an instance where you trip, you're going to maybe release your knees and be able to catch yourself before you might stumble or fall. I mean, when you were a kid or when you were younger, that would probably happen automatically. But as you get older and you don't have this response, it's partially because you haven't built it into the mechanism that you've lost, which is actually the idea of how to bend your knees. So bending your knees is the most essential part of our footwork and stance work. Okay. So how do you get there? 45 degrees here. Bend your knees, shift your weight, and step out. Pull it back, shift your weight, and step out. Okay. That's whether Wu style Tai Chi, Yang style Tai Chi, doesn't matter. That's the most important part of how you should move. You have to sink, shift, and step. So what is shifting? When you bring weight from one side to the other, and what happens when you take weight from one side to the other? You empty. You empty. If you're forward and you sit back, what do? You empty. When you go forward, what do? You empty. So emptying is giving you, the ability to move that unweighted leg. So that's some of our stepping concepts, all right? Okay, let's do a deep breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, let's do a cloud hand movement. So we're like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. We followed the tutorial yesterday. We did this as a drill. All Tai Chi styles have cloud hands. Slightly variations in how people step. We do it like this. Yang style actually is a little bit more horizontal with the upper hand. Wu style a little more angular. Chen style does it with the palm out. So there's lots of variations of how they do it. Now the footwork varies. In Wu style we pivot our feet. In the Yang style they step. In the Chen style they cross. So there's different variations of how you should do it, but essentially it's the same idea. So we're working with the 24, so we want to develop a horizontal parallel stance, and as we shift our weight to one side, we change the hands and we move to the side. And we should keep our knees bent and maintain a level head position. Okay? So you don't have this bobbing up and down type of a thing. So you're learning to move to your left. In the form, we only go that direction, but you can actually go this way as well. As a drill, you can go this way, but it doesn't happen in the form. Okay, good. So let's see where all of this leads. That's a bit of tutorials for beginner. We'll see that when we do this movement, that's repulse the monkey. When we do this movement, it's brush knee. And then we have some series that will follow up after that. So we'll go through the form for people that are following and watching, that know the 24, and hopefully we can get through this together, and then I'll go back and maybe I'll touch upon a few things and a few ideas. Because form itself is made up of postures which a new person can't identify at this point, but I'll identify them over time. Okay, preparation, we actually start with our feet like this. Then we open the shoulder width, and then we lift the hands and bend the elbows and knees. We turn, hold the ball, part the horse's mane. To a step, so we do 3 of these. 3 part the horse's mane. That half step, the stork flaps wings. We turn, step out, brush knee and push. Next, second brush knee and push. So we do 3 of these. Okay, I'm going to slide back a little bit. Strum the loop, that's that half step. Repulse the monkey 4 times. This is grasp the sparrow's tail, or ward off, roll back, press, and push. Single whip. So it's leaning more like an archery stance, different from the Wu style, cloud hands. And then back to single whip. Half step, palm strikes face. Reach out, open, heel kick, 2 punches to the ear. Turn, sweep down, lift up, heel kick, hook your wrist, downward posture. Step up, golden cockerel. Okay, to single whip, go to the other side, downward posture, golden cockerel. Step out, hold the ball, Jade Lady work shuttle. So hold the ball is a good starting position for some of the posture, a lot of the postures. This Jade Lady work shuttle. Shift your weight, turn to the corner, fold the elbow, insert the needle. Step forward, fan through the back. Turn, parry and punch. Turn out, punch. Cross the arms, leopard and tiger springs to mounted. Close the form. Step out, sit back, back to shoulder width stance, and down. Then release. Close the stance, shake it out. Deep breathing, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. So, there's a lot of shorter forms modified, for today's learning, and it actually helps people learn a shorter sequence than memorizing this huge 108 movement form. So most of the short forms take between 4.5 to 5 minutes. So that's a good gauge for how fast you could be doing your form, because it's a time element. Some people think Tai Chi should be done so slow at a snail's pace. It doesn't have to be that slow, because you can't really integrate your body, and it's a little bit too slow. So you find that pace where you can do that sequence in about 5 minutes, and you're probably working, the speed of your movements correctly. So along with that, you have to reach a stage with any form, whether it's Tai Chi or Kung Fu, that it goes into your subconscious. It goes into your, what we call the no-mindedness state. So the no-mindedness state is actually, when the movements enter your subconscious muscle memory, then the sequential memory is embedded into your psyche or your body, you can go through the sequence actually without thinking about it. So when you start the form, you actually should clear your mind, and it just goes, and you just run through the motions, and it doesn't become, it's second nature. Because we're creatures of habit, it just happens. And you just know that everything should be there, and everything starts from there and it goes through. So when you go through the form slowly and you're thinking about it, it actually disrupts the movements and throws off the way you would feel and flow through it. Because after you've done it for a while, you're not used to breaking it down. So it's just how the learning curve is. You first learn, memorize it here, transfer the information from here to your body, and then your body starts to pick up on that. Then the refinement of these movements doesn't happen immediately, it happens over time. So the first level of learning is memorize and get it, take it in so it's to heart. It's like memorizing a sequence or a poem. Once you've memorized it, or even to a musician, the song, after you've memorized it, then you can play it and play it from, just in that auto mode, and then you can begin to feel the difference. So the feeling of the difference doesn't come till your body has acclimated toward how the movement should be done, and bringing in some of the concepts we talk about, shifting your weight, softening the legs, improving the direction of the movement. All of that will start to blend in and come into play. It does take time, but the benefit of doing this is really the journey. Because if everything came to you like that, you wouldn't be able to get anything out of it. So as creatures of habit, we have to do things over and over again, and it becomes a habit. Like driving, like many of the things to do, like brushing your teeth, like feeding yourself, putting a cup to your mouth. These are all proprioceptive reflexive actions that have been ingrained in our system and really becomes reflex. So that's what, that's sort of the way Tai Chi is learned and how it evolves through your body over time. So as a practitioner, it has to be something that you do regularly, and then you'll get the benefit and you'll see the transformation. It's something that's pretty amazing. I've been doing this a long, long time, so I can tell you through my own experience that these things actually happen. It's not something that I took from a book and said, hey, if you study for 40 years, you're going to be, pretty good. But the thing is, if I told you you had to study 40 years, you probably wouldn't do it anyways. So you have to start from the beginning and just get what you get out of it, and you'll constantly improve. So with that said, that's the 24 movement form. Same with everything else that we've been doing. If you want more, let us know, and let me know. Lucienne will tell me, and we'll film accordingly. So Wednesday night or Wednesday will be the day that we do the modern. Now, when the world comes back to its normalcy and order, and we're running classes and we're all outside doing our outside programs, this may slow down because we won't be here to do the filming. Fortunately, I have some members, and Lucienne and I are willing to come here to support the people that are at home. And, we hope you get something out of this. We hope, we can transfer you into a Tai Chi student or a Kung Fu student. And on that note, I think I'm going to sign off, and I'll see you tomorrow morning at 9:30. If you're home, turn it on. Yeah, and everything is actually recorded. So it's archived, you can review it, it's there. Take a snippet of it and just practice.